Absolutely fantastic! The ancient Ice Titan is here, free from her shackles and ready to get revenge on her captor. First, let's crack this bad girl open. S.H.Monsterarts Shimo. This Monsterarts Tamashii web exclusive release brings Shimo to life with a fantastic sculpt, paint apps, and full range of articulation. Before we find out how fantastic Shimo is, give this video a like, share, subscribe, and shop Hobby Link Japan. Shimo is in the 6-inch scale, standing roughly 8 inches tall and 16 inches head to tail. Shimo looks great next to our other S.H.Monsterarts figures, as to be expected. Shimo also looks pretty good next to our S.H. Figuarts Ultraman figures and our 6-inch scale Chogokin figures from various lines. The scale checks out. Now let's see how well Shimo can move. Starting with the head, we can look up, down, left, right. The mouth can open up nice and fairly wide. Inside of the mouth, the tongue can hinge. The neck is comprised of several very nice ball joints. Moving on to our forelegs, the shoulder joint has a nice range of movement. We can move this all around. It can rotate a full 360 degrees, but it's kind of at an angle here. We have a swivel here, I guess we'd call it the bicep. We have a nice bend here in the forearm, or I guess shin. I'm not really sure about the leg anatomy here, but it can move very freely. The feet can tilt and swivel. In the torso, we can lean forward, backward, twist side to side, and lean to side very freely. It's a really great range of motion here, so we can fully extend Shimo all the way up and then also have her hunch over. Moving on to the legs, they have the same range of motion as our front legs here. Nice bend in the knees, rotation here at the shins. Really nice double jointed knees. These are bending out really good. The feet can tilt and swivel and the toes are articulated. And then finally, we have our nice long tail comprised of several ball joints. This tail is very solid, very poseable, and very cool. At the end of the tail, we have our Thagomizer with several fins on ball joints. Now, I noticed these fins here tend to pop off a little bit too easy, but they pop right back in just as easy as they fall out, so something to be aware of. But otherwise, this tail is very cool. When it comes to sculpt and paint apps, Shimo is fantastic. Starting from the top, we have our scaly, pearlescent textured detail head sculpt with slight reflective blue weathering. I really like the paint apps on the scales here. At the top of the head, we have our translucent blue sharp crystal crown. The eyes have a tiny blue sculpt with black pupils. The snout has a large detailed sculpt. The teeth have a semi-sharp bone sculpt, while the inner mouth and tongue has a detailed fleshy sculpt. I really like how you can see all the texture and detail here on the tongue. That's pretty cool. Now, something about the head sculpt, it looks like Shimo's face is a bit elongated. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. And then also something else I think it's a bit strange. When you open up Shimo's mouth, she has a bit of what we'll call Muppet mouth. It looks like she needs to or is missing inner jaw membrane that should go right here, because otherwise you open this up, it's just like, you know, she looks like a Muppet with no cheek or bone muscle here, so that's a bit strange. The body has a nice textured detailed sculpt. I really like all of the depth and variation in the scales. The chest has a scaly, muscular sculpt. I really like how you can see all the various ways the scale pattern switches up here. The legs have a long, muscular, scaly sculpt, and again, I really like the scale pattern here. On the hind legs, the scales are a lot larger and are more like overlapping plates. The feet have a massive scaly sculpt with large, sharp black nails. On the back, we have our large translucent spines that start out large and become smaller as we reach the tail. The tail has a detailed multi-segmented scaly sculpt. At the end of the tail, we have our sharp translucent blue thagomizer with subtle striations. At the very tip of the tail, it transitions to a translucent blue. I have to admit, I did not like Shimo as a character nor her design, but now, after having this figure in hand, I kind of appreciate her a bit more, even if the sculpting on this figure is a bit off. This is the feeling I was hoping I was going to get with Scar King, but we saw how that turned out. For accessories, all we have is a nice detailed snarling face for Kong with his metal tooth. Man, I feel like they really dropped the ball here. Shimo should have come with a frost breath effect part and maybe a set of neck chains or something. What do you guys think? Now, if you are an avid S.H.Monsterarts collector, you can improvise for the lack of a breath effect part. Now, let's do some city building. As a whole, Shimo turned out to be fantastic. The sculpt is well done, the paint-ups are great, and Shimo is fully posable. Now, the lack of cool, meaningful accessories does hurt this release a bit, but the size, quality, and posability helps soften that blow a bit. This figure really made me appreciate Shimo more. I like this figure, and I recommend picking Shimo up. Now, how much does Shimo cost? I imported my S.H.Monsterarts Shimo for $190, which is a little bit steep. If you are waiting for the US release, it looks like Shimo will run you between $213 to $239. Click the card on screen right now to pre-order your Shimo today. To see more S.H.Monsterarts reviews or another absolutely fantastic review, click the links on screen right now. Be sure to follow me on social media. Definitely follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you guys in the next review.